Step back in time with me to a New York City you've only seen in old photographs. It's the 1880s, a city of incredible wealth and staggering poverty, where towering skyscrapers are just beginning to pierce the skyline. But beneath the gleam of progress, a dark and dangerous world thrives in the shadows. This isn't a story about famous tycoons. It's about the everyday people caught in a web of crime that was as much a part of the city as the cobblestone streets. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and forgotten crime stories from this electric era. A story that reveals the true face of 1880s New York. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Our story begins not in a grand mansion on Fifth Avenue, but in the crowded, gaslit tenements of the Lower East Side. This was a world of immigrants, laborers, and dreamers, all packed into a few square miles. And where there's desperation, crime is never far behind. Gangs with names like the Wyos and the Five Points Gang ruled the streets with iron fists and sharp blades. Their business was everything from pickpocketing to brutal extortion. For them, life was cheap, and a dispute could be settled with a knife in a dark alley for just a few dollars. But the crime that truly shocked the city in this decade wasn't just a simple street brawl. It was a case of cold, calculated murder that exposed the rot at the heart of the system. Let's talk about the murder of Dr. Harvey Burdell. Though it technically happened a bit earlier, its repercussions and the style of crime it represented echoed throughout the 1880s. Defining the era's fears, Dr. Burdell was a wealthy dentist found brutally murdered in his own home, a place that should have been a sanctuary. He was stabbed 15 times. The scene was a bloodbath, a shocking display of violence that rattled even the most hardened New Yorkers. Immediately, suspicion fell on the people living in his house, particularly a woman named Emma Cunningham. She was his former lover, a widow with 2 daughters, who claimed she had secretly married Dr. Burdell just days before his death. Was this a crime of passion, a desperate grab for his immense fortune? The city's newspapers, the sensationalist penny presses, went into a frenzy. Every day, a new headline screamed a new theory. Emma Cunningham was portrayed as a scheming black widow, a villainess straight out of a novel. Her trial became the biggest spectacle in town. People lined up for hours just to get a seat in the courtroom, eager to witness the drama unfold. The prosecution painted a damning picture. They argued Emma was a woman of loose morals, desperate for money, who orchestrated the murder to inherit Burdell's estate. They brought witness after witness who spoke of heated arguments and a toxic relationship. The evidence seemed to be piling up against her. But her defense lawyer, the brilliant Henry Clinton, fought back with equal fire. He portrayed Emma as a victim herself, a woman wronged by a difficult man and now being railroaded by a public hungry for a villain. He masterfully poked holes in the prosecution's case, creating doubt at every turn. Was the evidence really as solid as it seemed, or was it all circumstantial, built on rumor and public prejudice? The jury was faced with an impossible task. They were locked into deliberation, torn between the scandalous portrayal of Emma and the lack of concrete, undeniable proof. The entire city held its breath. When the verdict was finally read, the courtroom erupted. Not guilty. Emma Cunningham walked free, but the public was far from convinced. For many, she was the one who got away with murder. The case was never officially solved, and the true killer of Dr. Harvey Burdell was never brought to justice. It remains one of New York's greatest unsolved mysteries, a chilling reminder that sometimes, even when everyone thinks they know the truth, justice can remain elusive. This case perfectly illustrates the world of crime in 1880s New York. It wasn't just about street gangs. It was about greed, passion, and the power of the press to shape public opinion. It showed how wealth and status couldn't protect you, and how the line between victim and villain could be terrifyingly thin. The city's police force at the time was notoriously corrupt and often ineffective. Detectives like Thomas Burns became famous, pioneering methods like the third degree, brutal interrogations, and creating mugshot galleries to track rogues. But for every case they solved, countless others, like the Burdell murder, fell through the cracks, leaving a trail of unanswered questions and lingering fear. Beyond these high-profile cases, daily life for many New Yorkers was a constant battle for survival. The Lower East Side was a maze of dark tenements and narrow alleys, the perfect breeding ground for crime. Children were often forced into lives of petty theft, becoming what were known as street Arabs. They would pick pockets, snatch purses, and do whatever it took to earn enough for a meal or a place to sleep in a flophouse. Gangs weren't just collections of thugs. They were a perverse form of community, offering protection and a sense of belonging to young men who had nothing else. They had their own codes, their own territories, and their own brutal forms of justice. The story of 1880s New York crime is the story of a city at war with itself. A place of dazzling innovation and dark secrets, where fortunes were made and lives were lost in the blink of an eye. The tale of Dr. Burdell and Emma Cunningham is just one chapter in this sprawling, epic narrative. It reminds us that behind the black and white photos of the Gilded Age lies a world of vibrant, often violent, color. It's a world of unsolved mysteries, notorious criminals, and ordinary people caught in the crossfire. What do you think really happened to Dr. Burdell? Do you believe Emma Cunningham was a cunning murderer or a wrongly accused woman? The truth is, we may never know for sure, and that's what makes these historical crime stories so endlessly fascinating. They are puzzles without a final piece, windows into a past that is both vastly different and disturbingly similar to our own. If you were captivated by this journey into the dark heart of 1880s New York, then you're going to love what we have coming up next. We'll be exploring more incredible stories from history, uncovering forgotten crimes and unsolved mysteries. To make sure you don't miss a single investigation, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you be the first to know when a new video drops. What other historical crime eras or stories would you like to see me cover? Let me know down in the comments. I read every single one, and your ideas could become our next deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to create more content just like this for you. Thank you so much for watching and for being a part of this community. Until next time, stay